No, well, if there's no more brags, then I'll turn it over to Bryce for today's program.
Thank you, Julia. Today, joining us, we have Gwen Hollinger from Forest Grove High School. She has been an amazing partner with us, working on the food pantry as our liaison with the student groups and various faculty who are working on this super important project. And we invited her here today to kind of talk about what they've been up to and what their plans are for the future. So, welcome, Gwen.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, no, wait. It's afternoon. Sorry. Summer vacation. I don't even know what time it is. I don't know what day of the week is. So it's good that I'm here. Thanks for having me. I just want to thank you guys all for supporting this whole program that we've got going on with the food pantry and being involved in it. Currently, we have a lot of classified staff that are working at our school. They're getting paid, and so we've kind of handed it over to them to do the work. And in the fall, we had hoped to set it up so that students would be doing the work. And so we're not quite sure how that's going to look. But currently, we are teamed up with the Oregon Food Bank. In the beginning of around COVID time, for those of you that haven't been around for it, I was working with the Oregon Food Pantry over at a church here in Forest Grove and started thinking, why can't we have deliveries made to the high school? You know, why we had high school people coming over to the food bank there and packing boxes and helping support them. But then it created a lot of work in terms of transporting. And then it created a lot of work for the ladies that were directing the food pantry over there. And so I just thought, you know, how can we make this work? Can we get this over to the high school? Can we be a destination? Can we be a drop-off? Can we be our own food bank? And so through some work with Brian Schimmel and Brian Burke, who's the VP at the high school, one of the VPs at the high school, and a little bit of legwork, we figured it out. And now the Oregon Food Bank is coming to the high school twice a week. And they have a huge truck full of foods that the classified staff, a number of classified staff have tables and tents set up, and they redistribute all the food into the boxes for families. And so that happens twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays in the mornings. And then in the afternoon from 2 to 4 in the back of the high school on those 2 days, those are days that people in the community, students and their families can come through and grab food. The big boxes have a lot of dry food in them, but then there's also the opportunity to get dairy products, eggs, and meats as well, depending on what's available during that time, and also produce as well. So now what's really become, what's gone from, hey, let's see if we can team up over at Solid Life Center in Forest Grove, maybe we can make a few boxes and they'll hook us up. Now it's become this full-fledged like distribution center at the high school, which is so freaking awesome. It's so good. It's so good. And in that time, you know, before the school even ended, I was approached by Claudia. I spoke to Doug Thompson, Karen O'Neill, and the idea of me being that person between you guys with Rotary and then the high school, and just really creating an opportunity for Interact Club students to get involved. So the vision that we had was that the students, as soon as school started again, would be the ones, we'd create some sort of a club opportunity, or maybe even and pair up with some of the service classes to have the kids do the work, so that it became a kid-fed company or kid-fed business. I even talked about what if we could get money to build our own distribution building, like a big warehouse, not a warehouse, but like maybe a big shed of sorts where everything was stored, and got some deep freezers and refrigerators. Because as soon as school starts, eventually, where we are storing the cold foods in the cafeteria, that won't be available. Eventually, at some point when we all do go back to school, those refrigerators and freezers will all need to be specifically for the high school. Right now, we have some food there. We also have some food at, oh gosh, what is the business? There's the Lieb, is it Lieb Farms? Lieb, over there in the industrial area of Forest Grove. There's some refrigerated units there that the food bank is using to store foods. So the hope is that someday we can dream big and build a facility that's specific for Oregon Food Bank connection. I'll share with you some stats. One of the gals at the high school, Chris, so it's Chris Jongi, I don't know how to, Yongian. She's the attendance secretary. She's been kind of organizing a lot and keeping a lot of the stats. She's really good at the statistical organization piece, which thank goodness, because that is totally not in my skill set. I'm not great about stats and all that, but I'll share with you some of her stuff that she shared. She said in June that we served 71 to 131 families, depending on each week. So 71 a week or up to 131, depending on the week. And that with those boxes, we served up to 613 family members. So that's huge. And then we gave out up to 169 boxes per week. In July, we served 121 families, 557 members. I mean, you're looking at, that's a lot of members per family. So we're serving some of the larger families as well, and gave out 154 boxes on average per week. For last week, she said that we have about 123 families that have jumped in and received. And so far yesterday, they served 65 families yesterday and gave out 97 boxes. So some of those families take a couple of boxes because they are bigger and they have more family members. And so that's great. That's really great. I think one of our challenges that we want to start really looking at in the fall is just increasing the awareness of what we offer. I know that I put it out on my Facebook. If you guys could put that out, I'll send it over, the info. But if you guys could even post that too, that would be amazing. But one of the challenges is just letting everybody know that it's available. Thoughts were out, spoken about maybe going into some of the community centers in Cornelius and posting some flyers, maybe in the library. I just don't know what really is being visited as much, that where we could post information in Spanish and in English to really get the information out. And Chris, who's been there the whole summer, has just said that it's been really, really amazing. Not in the beautiful sense of the word amazing, but in the sad, like amazing to her, just how much people in our community really need help and support. So we definitely, all of us, you all included, in helping the food pantry get going, it's making a tremendous difference, and hopefully we can continue to reach out to more people and provide more food for others. She did say, let's see, that toward the end of September, we're going to be receiving less non-perishables due to a food shortage. And so this might be a good time to just start thinking, how can we get access more food that maybe isn't just from the Oregon Food Bank, so that families can attain more. Some of the stuff that we talked about were dried foods, like dried beans, a lot of beans and rice. Some of the cornmeal that's used for making tamales. We've got canned meats that would be amazing, like canned tuna or canned chicken breast. Any types of meats that are preserved, like salamis, any of that type of stuff too, that can be long lasting, could be amazing. So that's kind of where we are right now. This next week, I'm supposed to go in and I'll meet with Brian Burke to we'll get a team together, kind of think about what will the vision look like as school begins, but we're not in a building. How is that going to work? And so all that stuff still is kind of up in the air and needing to be discussed. So that's what I've got for you so far. Talk to me. Do you have questions?
I did put some in the chat. If you have posters that are in English and Spanish, I'll put them in my window.
Oh, awesome.
Because my office is in Cornelius by Fruteria El Campesino.
Okay. I got to find my chat. Oh, there's my chat. Okay, sorry. There it is. Sorry, I didn't have it on. Okay. All right, that is great.
As far as the other people, I don't know their full names. Maybe Juanita or Court or somebody else knows. But there's a lady named Robin who runs like a bunch of gleaners and food, food and farmer group out of Gales Creek.
Okay.
And then there's the lady whose name escapes me. I want to call her Barbara, but she's all
Charlene Murdoch.
Is that the grains lady and the bread lady?
Yeah, Charlene Murdoch is the bread lady, and Robin Lindsley is the one that is at the Dairy Creek Co-op, and she's the one that's working on the gleaning. She's a really amazing woman.
Got it. I wrote it down. That's great. So great. I also just teamed up. Well, I met up with Susan Robinson from Love Rocks, the Love Rocks Foundation, and she because of all the clubs and just things going on that normally that they would support are not really meeting right now, they wrote a check and are going to give some money to help support some of the food needs that we need. So I got a check from her, so I need to take that over to the high school. So there are definitely some organizations around as well, just like you guys, that want to support and help. So we just need to keep on reaching out and helping and asking, and just like you guys, you've been so supportive and so good about it. What else?
Hey, Gwen.
Is again that people can come by and pick up food boxes?
Yes. So anybody, and if you can share that out, if you all know anybody in our community, anybody at all, it's not just school-based, it's anybody in our community. It is on Tuesdays or Mondays and Thursdays, Mondays and Thursdays between 2 and 4 p.m. In the back of the school. So they would drive past the tennis courts and around the back side of the building. There's a parking lot back there, and they just go through the line, and some adults will be there. Maybe in the fall we'll have kids there. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but they'll bring boxes to your car. And then I think the only thing they need is just how many people are in the family, so that they can kind of keep statistics and how many boxes go in the car, but that's it. So if you know of anybody, whatever age, whatever family, and if they need several boxes, we're super happy to give out several boxes. We want everybody to be fed and feel food secure. That food insecurity can be very traumatizing.
Is the vetting of the families done by you or the school district, or is that done by Community Action or Oregon Food Bank to make sure that they qualify for the box? Or, I mean, how are you doing that part?
It's just if they come up, we give. We just give. There's no looking at any type of criteria. If you need food, you just come on up. I think there's definitely a place of some humbleness there that comes along with standing in the line waiting for food, that nobody's going to question that. They don't want to question that. I know my son actually has been volunteering quite a bit over at Solid Life Center this summer. He's been going on Thursdays and helps to assemble everything and get stuff set up and distributes. And he's had an opportunity to kind of be one of the people in charge there. And it's been an incredible experience for him. It's changed him. He's 17. He's going to be a senior this year at Forest Grove. And it's the opportunity for youth to serve in that role is so tremendous. He has changed. And I'll tell you what, 17 years old, he's a pretty confident kid. Sometimes a little too confident, sometimes a little too lippy with mom, and he needs a little check, you know what I mean? But I'm super proud of him, because sometimes he says things about, helping people and being able to carry the boxes to people's cars. There's some people that have a hard time, so mom, I take the boxes for them, and they're just so nice and they're so thankful. And mom, he tells me about people that drive up and they have nice cars, but they're really kind of embarrassed to make eye contact or receive the food, because they're just, it's a whole new situation for them. And so for me, as a mom, and having my son experience this, it's an incredible starting point for a great conversation to help him understand what he can do from this point in his life with giving and serving, and I think that's a big thing with our youth is, if this can happen in our school, hopefully we'll be back at school. My biggest hope will be that the experience of giving and sharing and doing work for other people will be so rewarding to them that they'll be addicted and wanting to do it more. I know that a huge part of Rotary is helping people. It's a huge part. And I realized recently, maybe a couple of years ago, I just had some ridiculous revelation, and I'm 45 years old. I mean, these are things I should just know. We have these moments where we think, and I just thought, oh my God, I just love to help people. That's it. I just like helping people. It makes me feel so good to help somebody. And sometimes my kids are like, why are you doing that? Because I want to, because I want to help them. And so I want to be able to share that with kids so that they get out of their own selves, their own heads, their own egocentric lives at the high school level, because sometimes their brains have not developed obviously as much as ours, right? We've gotten past that frontal lobe development. We're there. So I really hope that if we can, however way this works out, the hope is to transform how they see themselves and how they can help the world. So gosh, that sounds so corny. so dorky.
It's not corny, and I really appreciate you sharing your story.
Yeah.
Your story sounds like a primary candidate for Interact, which
Yeah.
is the Rotary version of high school.
Yep.
And I'm not sure why you haven't submitted your application to join.
Claudia sent me the app and it's on I've got a link to it. I've just been out of town on vacation, but I have the link. And so I am supposed to be the interact person. I am the one. It's just not official at this point. So I'll be the one that's with you guys all the time. You'll have to hear me be corny and cheesy and tell my stories. And I don't know. I'm with you guys.
Good job,
Yeah.
Claudia.
Yeah, totally. And Claudia's been so great. She's a good sales girl. She's very convincing, and she definitely, she gets you all pumped up, and she could sell ice to an Eskimo, right? Or a shipped, I don't know. I've heard all the phrases, but she's very convincing. She's very good. And interestingly enough, when I spoke with Susan Robinson the other day, we talked about Rotary, and I told her, I'm going to join. I have the application. I just have to get it done, and I have to just send it in. And she's like, you know what? Claudia's been talking to me. And I go, isn't Claudia a sales girl or what? Gosh. And she's like, I know. I feel like I got to do it. And I said, okay, we'll do it. Let's do it together. And let's just do it, So I think Susan's going to be jumping on too. I'm kind of a sales girl too. So I was trying to get Susan on board as well. So Claudia needs to know I'm going to link arms with her and bring Susan on board. So we'll definitely have to increase the numbers of people that are on this team of people to support our community.
Thank you, Gwen. We cannot wait to have you on board with us and
Yay.
the energy that you bring.
Okay.
I remember Bryce and I shopping with you last December
Yep.
to get that food bank started. I had a great time with you and your family, and we got it done. And look where everything is now.
I know. It's crazy.
With all this COVID stuff, doing things, it's created more opportunities for us to just really focus on what we can do. And the food insecurity, that's not going to go away anytime soon. No. I think it's a long-term impact in all of our communities. And so I think maybe the next step might be to look into pricing and sourcing what the freezer or cooler needs are. And let's see if Rotary can't help make that happen. Yeah. Thank you so much. Does anyone else have questions for Gwen?
Could I just get a reminder of if we have a small amount to donate, when and where we want to do that?
That's great. So on Mondays and Thursdays is when they're doing all the food stuff in the mornings. So and then they give it out in the afternoon on Mondays and Thursdays. So all the classified staff that are working on the program, they are there in the back of the school. So anytime on Mondays and Thursdays, just load up your car with whatever you've got and drive it around to the backside, and there will be people there to take your donation from you in the morning.
Thank you.
You will not miss them. They're all there. Yeah. And too, we've talked about the non-perishables. We've talked about perishables, and there's also been ideas thrown out about hygiene products, because a lot of that stuff it's not included, right? We don't have that within the food. So any of those kinds of things, I know that some people have dropped off cleaning supplies, which is incredible, because cleaning supplies are not cheap either, and keeping things sanitary. And so anything that you see that you find on sale, or anything that you have a surplus of that you think, somebody could use this, it's anything essential, toothpaste, deodorant, we've given it a little bit of everything. So yeah,